Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Revelstoke Chamber and guests. My name is Michael Dakin, and I'm with Alacrity Canada. Also on the call is Sabine Blackburn. Sabine is the program manager for CDAP Grow Your Business Online. I am part of that team and also managing the Boost Your Business Technology, which is another portion of the Canada Digital Adoption Program here at Alacrity Canada. What we're going to do today is just give you a short presentation about what the Canada Digital Adoption Program is and how it can benefit your business. The Canada Digital Adoption Program is an initiative of the federal government, and it is a program that is going to run. It's a 3-year program, and so here we are in May of 2023, and we're just over a year into the delivery of this program. So it is scheduled to run for another 2 years. So you don't have to jump on this right away, but of course, we encourage businesses to take advantage of it as soon as they can. The program is intended to help small and medium businesses to grow their business online. Hence the name, Grow Your Business Online, but specifically with e-commerce functionality. And so helping businesses to either get online to sell their goods and services or to improve what is already there. We at Alacrity Canada are a delivery partner for this program for British Columbia. So we are able to serve businesses in the entire province through this program. At a really high level, when we talk about the Canada Digital Adoption Program, there are actually 2 programs within it. So the one we're going to be talking about first is this Grow Your Business Online. And the eligibility requirements for this program, let me just jump to my next slide here. This is the program in a nutshell. So eligible small businesses can apply through the website, and we've got a link in this presentation at the end as to where you can apply for the program. And then to be an eligible small business is actually, the threshold is actually fairly low for this part of the program. It is a $30,000 annual revenue requirement for last year or 1 employee. And as long as you've got that, you'll be eligible. There are some exclusions. Just to be aware, real estate agents, franchises, and wholesalers that don't sell directly to the consumer are excluded from the program. But beyond that, just about any for-profit customer-facing business will be eligible. And then once you have come into the program, you are eligible for up to $2,400 in a reimbursement grant to cover the cost of adopting these technologies. And there's a previous presentation that we did for your chamber a little while ago. We were going to this program in much more detail, but I just wanted to hit the highlights there. This presentation, what we were asked to do is to put together some ways that you can use this grant. Because we understand a number of businesses in your community have already accessed this grant, or you're like, well, I already have a website. I already have an e-commerce presence. So what do I actually, can I actually use this? And one of the things that we are finding is that's actually a lot of businesses that we're helping. And so one of the things that is really important to note is that this, and I've got a quote here right from our program guide, do encourage you, as I see at the bottom there, see the program guide for the full list of eligibilities. But the core of it is costs related to the implementation or improvement of a digital e-commerce plan. So this can be online reservation, booking tools, online ordering systems, electronic payments, and whatnot. So even if you have an existing e-commerce site, there is the ability to add to it and to upgrade it. So upgrading e-commerce, this is another line from our program guide. So upgrading existing e-commerce site for added functionality, for example, new plugins or features. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. That's actually what your chamber asks us to share with you is what are some of these things that you might not jump to the forefront of your mind that would be eligible for this funding. I just put a note here that capacity / more products is not functionality. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that does qualify, but this is, so for example, we've had some businesses say, hey, I've got a site, I've got an e-commerce site, but I want to add 10 more products. And we're like, well, that's great, but that's just simply more products or more content. That's not actually functionality. Or there's another example is we've had businesses come, they're using a particular platform, like, oh, we need to pay more so that we can add another user, right? So like another staff member. That's a capacity improvement, not a functional improvement. And again, see the program guide for the full list. But that is just really quick summary of what at a high level you can do. The main thing here to talk about is, what are these examples? What are some of these new functionalities that we talk about? And one of the things, we've been delivering this program for over a year. We've worked with hundreds and hundreds of businesses across BC, and we've helped a lot of them find some of these extra functions. So a lot of it is there's a lot of functionality out there that in the form of plugins. So depending on what website, if you've already got an e-commerce website or even a non-e-commerce website, there are often plugins that you can add to that site to add functionality. And some of that functionality, one of the common ones that we actually get is what we call chat bots. So that's where when you go to a website and there's like a little chat now, that customers can start interacting with you, start interacting with the chat bot with some automated responses, perhaps getting to the point of actually submitting an information request. I know chatbots, you've always got to be careful with how you implement chatbots because you want it to still be a positive customer experience. So generally it's you set them up with a few basic predetermined questions and answers, and want to drive them to where they can actually connect with you. Another function that we have that we can talk about is simply having product reviews. So this is something that not every site has built in by default, but having the ability for customers to come and view your product and add reviews is great, because a lot of people are looking. That's what people are looking for. Is, hey, has anybody used this before, or bought this product, used this service? And this is beyond just general business reviews, but actually integrating that into your site. So not just the Google reviews that are floating out there on the Google platform or other platforms where we have reviews, but including it into your site. Another one that we've helped a lot of businesses with is appointment booking. So if you are a service-based business where you're not selling physical goods, and you might think, well, I don't have anything to sell. I sell my services, I sell my time. Appointment booking is an eligible expense. And so that is an e-commerce function. We've had a lot of businesses where they're coaches or consultants of some sort, or some sort of professional that you book an appointment with. And it doesn't even necessarily have to take payment when the appointment is made. For our definition of e-commerce, a customer booking an appointment with you that they're going to pay for, even if they are paying after the fact, is still that online transaction that we're looking for. Another category that people often don't think about is CRM, or customer databases. That is another category of eligible functional improvements. So anything that can be a customer database. Now, this is something that is a very broad category that things can fit into. Really, what we're looking for in terms of whether it's going to be eligible or not is that it actually is an actual customer list that you're able to access, that you're able to search, that you're able to categorize. So some of the ones that we have, we allow under the category of customer database is even something, for example, like MailChimp or Constant Contact, which are generally email platforms. They're great platforms for doing email, but they have a customer management component to them as well. So those are the kind of things that we will allow as well. And that's the kind of thing that you can have people sign up on your website, enter their information, and they go into the customer database, and you're then able to contact them. Another category of functions is this subscription or membership site. And this is actually something that I often encourage, especially specialty retail stores, that you may actually have a product people want to subscribe to. And it's a great way to build some recurring revenue. So we had an example of it was a hair and beauty salon, and they already had appointment booking, they had online sales and everything. But what they wanted to add, and this is actually what we were able to help them with the grant, was adding a subscription module to their store, so that people could actually subscribe to getting their hair product on a regular basis. And the subscription model is actually a really good, a really good avenue to explore. I've been doing economic development and business coaching for a number of years now, and this is something that I'm always shocked at how many businesses that sell consumables that haven't actually explored the idea of a subscription. And the subscription is great because you just know that that's going out. Your customer, gets their stuff on a regular basis, and you don't have to worry about them trying to go get the sale. It's just funny this morning. I got a package, and one of the things I subscribe to, it's a mundane thing, but I have a cat litter subscription. And if you told me 10 years ago that I would be subscribed to cat litter, I would have laughed. But it's one of those things. It's a convenient thing, and it's a particular thing, and you just go through it on a regular basis. So every 12 weeks, a box full of cat litter shows up on my porch, and both my cat and I are quite happy about that. But that's something that your business you might not have thought of. Like I said, we helped the hair salon. I actually another business that I encountered was a winery, and they set up a wine box subscription. And so there's they work that out. So you join their wine club, and they send a case of wine every I think it's every 3 months that they send a special selection of wine out. So it's something that is always worth considering, especially for you in Revelstoke, where you do have a fairly decent tourism population that comes through. As somebody comes and visits your community, if you've got something that people come for, subscription offer is great. Quite frankly, Mount Begbie Brewing is one of my favorite craft breweries. I dragged my family off the highway as we were driving to Calgary once, and to find the brewery so that I could get a case of which one was it? It was their strong ale. I really love it, and you can't get it where I live. So something like that would be honestly be a great subscription. But those are things that people don't often consider. The other thing is membership sites. So similar, but a little bit different. A membership site usually is for member exclusive content. So we see this a lot in businesses that are more of coaching or consulting type work. So if you're doing something if, for example, I do business coaching, and so I haven't done this yet because I haven't built my consulting business out this far yet. But having this members only area where your clients can log in, they're paying a subscription fee or a retainer fee of some sort, and there's a number of options out there for those kinds of sites. Another category that we have we've gotten quite a number in is online ordering. Particularly for food services. Now, this is ones that are integrated into your business website and not the large third-party sites. So we all know the big delivery services. I don't know if they have a footprint in Revelstoke at all. The Skip, Uber, DoorDash, etc. Those ones don't qualify because those ones are fees based. But we have encountered. Oh, did I get a thumbs down there? I've worked with a number of restaurants. I'm yet to meet a restaurant owner that likes the large platforms. because the fees are high. They don't have control over the customer service experience, and it's just really difficult. There are actually a number of other food service providers out there, delivery providers that we've actually got a couple BC based ones that have come to us and that we've helped a number of businesses through. And we have when you work with one of our e-commerce advisors, they have access to that list and can provide some recommendations. So anyways, so those are just examples of some of the functionality that we have been able to help businesses access the grant funding for. Now, you may be sitting there going, well, I don't know where to find those kinds of solutions. Well, one, I've got another slide on this, but when you apply for this program, you have the option of engaging one of our e-commerce advisors. And just to give a plug, we really strongly encourage you to access the e-commerce advisors. These are advisors that we train. We put them through a digital marketing training and an e-commerce training course, and they don't cost you anything. So their time and their expertise is not coming out of your $2,400, but we are training them to help businesses to figure out how to use that money the best way, because we want to see you use these funds in a way that really benefits your business. So they'll help you and they'll help identify things. But if you're not sure of what's out there, we do have a lot of businesses that come to us, they apply and they're like, hey, I kind of want to try this. Would the grant qualify for that? Then we're happy to have that conversation, and we're happy to connect you with an e-commerce advisor to walk you through finding the best solution. But we have a number of options for plugins. One of them is there's a lot of platforms. So for example, with appointment booking, one of the most common ones out there is something called Calendly, and it's just it fits into this category of plugins that just embeds into a website, and you can embed that in just about any website. And there's a lot that are out there. One caveat of warning: sometimes these, depending on how the plugin's made, it can impact the design of your site. So you always want to be careful with those third-party plugins that are completely separate, especially if they involve embedding some code or something. You want to make sure that you're looking for something, and this is something we go through with our EAs when we're training them. It's like, hey, you want to make sure that this is a plugin that's widely used and isn't going to cause more issues. One of the things that we also say is look at your existing web platform. So there's a lot of plugins that are available for the major platforms out there. So for example, if you have a WordPress site, there are literally thousands of WordPress plugins. And what you do is you want to make sure that you're looking at the reviews to see, are there a lot of people using these plugins? Are they well reviewed? The one thing with WordPress, WordPress sites run about 40% of the websites on the internet. And it's a great platform. It's an open architecture. There's lots of plugins. It's all plugin based, but plugins can interfere with each other. And so the big recommendation we always make is if you have a WordPress site, if it was built by someone, built by a developer or a development agency, always go back to them to help get those plugins installed. I've been in this for 25 years. I have broken WordPress sites and just by installing a plugin, and it turns out that some other plugin had been configured some way to do something, and it's just something that can be very frustrating. But if you're using other platforms, so the website builders, if you got a website built in Wix or in Squarespace or in Weebly, kind of those major platforms, kind of those do-it-yourself website tools, they have a number of plugins as well. So for example, if you use Squarespace is one of the more closed platforms, I call it, because there's very little in terms of outside integration. But Squarespace has been doing a great job at rolling out more and more features that you can add to your site. So if you happen to have a Squarespace website, if you're unaware of this, they actually rolled out an appointment booking tool about a year ago. They rolled out a membership and subscription tool to their e-commerce package. They've actually got a whole number of additional options now. They're paid options, but they integrate really well into the system as a whole. Wix has a lot of features and a lot of third-party plugins as well. If you have an e-commerce site, if you're running on Shopify or on Square, they both have third-party app marketplaces. And so these are third-party applications that you can install into your Shopify or your Square site, and they'll add functionality. So a lot of these things are out there and available if you want to add those kinds of functions. There's also what I like to call industry-specific solutions out there. So depending on what industry you are in, there are some platforms out there built specifically for seemingly random industries, but industries that have got something that is just a little bit different. So some of the ones that we've encountered, for example, we encountered a platform that is made specifically for make your own wine businesses. So it's actually it's a customer management system that puts in the orders, and they're able to set up kind of what the schedule is for how long everything has to be from when it's the batch is first made, it's fermented till it's bottled. Like, they did that because there's just enough uniqueness in a business where you have people coming and making their own wine. We have had another one that is specifically for bookstores. And so it's a whole online selling CRM and point of sale system specifically for bookstores. And we've actually had, I think, 3 or 4 bookstores now come through that have used it, the same platform in order to help get their collection online. So there are a lot of options out there. And again, this is something where when you work with an EA, they will help work through some of these things with you. So that's just some examples of what you can do and where you can get them. Another thing is digital marketing and SEO are eligible, so search engine optimization, for the grant funding, but only with an eligible functional improvement. So all of the stuff on the previous screens where we talked about all those functions, you have to do something like that. You cannot use the entire $2,400 towards Facebook ads or Google ads or site improvements, SEO. And quite honestly, we've had some people that use implement a very small e-commerce change and then use the rest of it for marketing, and that's totally within the bounds of the program. Let me just say, from 25 years of experience, I would really encourage you to maximize kind of those the grant into those one-time costs that actually make a long-term improvement. We have a number of businesses that come to us. They're working with a digital marketing agency, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, we'll run a bunch of ads, and we'll just add this. We'll add a chat bot, or we'll add reviews, so that you can spend another $2,300 on having me do ads for you." And you really want to make sure that that's actually going to be helping your business. You as the business owner, I mean, it's up to you, as long as we're within the bounds of the program. But I can tell you that any kind of long-term improvement is always going to be better, because if you use all the money for marketing, or as much of it as you can for marketing, you want to make sure that marketing is actually being effective and is driving people to your business. But just be aware of that. Also, when it comes to search engine optimization, SEO is probably the broadest, most vaguest term that we can use when it comes to making improvements, because it's anything that makes the site better. And again, I just want to caution you, there's a lot of people out there that will do various types of SEO work. I really encourage you to look at, is there actually some functional changes that we can make? Because we really want you to be able to maximize the grant funding above all. Just real quick though, beyond what you can use the grant for, there's some stuff you can't use the grant for. So just to be clear, you cannot use this grant to pay yourself or employees, or what are defined as non-arm's length transactions. So that's actually, and again, this is in the program guide, that's CRA's definition of an arm's length transaction. In short, it means you can't hire your kid, you can't hire your brother, etc. Basically, you can't hire a family member to do the work. And that's just an arm's length transaction requirement. As I said on the previous screen, it cannot be only marketing. It can't be a website redesign. So again, it can't just be, hey, I need a new logo. that doesn't qualify. Design work does not qualify, or redesign work doesn't qualify. Non-digital advertising, we've had people ask, like, hey, can I use this all for the radio? That's not digital advertising. Billboards are not digital advertising. As well, transaction fees. So this is where, for example, your the big delivery platforms like Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, etc. They're transaction fee driven. Beyond the fact that you don't really have control over the site, it's not built into your site. But transaction fees, credit card fees, payment processing fees, none of that qualifies. Shipping fees don't qualify. And again, see the program guide for the full list. Just a slide here to give a plug for our e-commerce advisors. I've mentioned this already, but we train these advisors in a whole variety of things regarding e-commerce and digital marketing strategies. They don't cost you anything. They are, quite frankly, most of them are co-op students, but we run them through, and they're from a variety of backgrounds. We've got a fairly extensive training program, and I do some coaching with them, bringing in the experience that I have of what to look for. What are you looking at when you go and see a small business's website? And I think this neutral third party to review current online presence and your plan for the grant is absolutely critical, because REAs, there's nothing other than this is an employment opportunity for them. They're not here to advocate any one platform. And they're here to look at your site, to see what's working. And honestly, I have found some of the greatest value I've ever brought to a business is when I've walked through what they're doing, and I've said, okay, as someone who doesn't actually know much about your business, this is what I'm hearing. And I've had businesses that are like, they're like, oh yeah, we everything that's on their website is the stuff that they actually don't want to be doing, and they haven't had time to develop the areas that they actually want to be working on. And that often comes out from having that neutral third party. And finally, they're going to assist in creating a plan that's going to maximize the grant money. That's between subscriptions. So how can you best utilize the subscriptions that you need? Which features are going to work best and fit in with a strategy for your business. So anyway, so that is our e-commerce advisors. And I said I'd be half an hour. It's 9:30. I'll just really quickly mention there is a second part of the program, as I mentioned before, and this is the Boost Your Business Technology. I have a slide here. I did a presentation on this previously, so I understand these presentations are available. So I do encourage you to check that out. But the bottom line is it's a $15,000 consulting grant that will then allow you to apply for up to $100,000 in interest-free financing from BDC. The caveat that is in that is if you have you need more than 500,000 of annual revenue to qualify for this program. And if you have less than 5 million in annual revenue, that grant amount, the loan amount is only going to be 25 to 50,000. So just to kind of put those bottom line numbers out there. But like I said, I did a presentation for your chamber just a month or so ago. So I encourage you to check that out. And we here at Alacrity Canada are able to help you with that program as well. So what I'll do is I'm just going to jump over all of those slides. And we do have the URL there. So it is alacritycanada.com/CDAP is where you can access information about both programs. And of course, our email there is there as well. And your chamber has all of this information. I'll just close with a quick blurb about Alacrity Canada. So our mission is to equip entrepreneurs with the knowledge, network, and capital to grow technology-led companies in Canada. Between the education and training, we've got a broad network. And we work primarily with tech entrepreneurs. However, in the final point there, we partner with the Canadian government to distribute funding for focused impact and direct emerging companies to meet the needs of a growing economy. So what that means is we actually administer a number of government programs, and we are here because we believe in the entrepreneur and we want to help businesses grow, especially here in British Columbia. Just so that you guys know, I did, again, there's a previous presentation, but just so you know a little bit about me and what drives me to be a part of this program. I'm actually based in Prince George. So Alacrity is headquartered in Victoria, but most of our team is remote. So Sabine is a little further up the island. We've got team members in Port Alberni, in Victoria, Vancouver, and especially once you work with our EAs, we have EAs all over the province. And like I said, I'm located in Prince George. I grew up in a small business family. So I grew up, my parents owned a lumber yard in a smaller town at the time. It's a lot bigger now, but I've been there. I grew up in a small business family. I remember, having to work at the store, having to do everything from sweeping the floors when I was young to folding invoices, and then I've also been on my own entrepreneurial journey. I've been self-employed. I'm now full-time with Alacrity, helping other people with their businesses. But that is our CDAP program in a nutshell. What I wanted to do is leave some time for questions. So if there is any questions, or if you guys have questions about your business, happy to answer those questions now.
Thank you, Michael. I'll stop the recording after I just mentioned that the previous in-depth recordings of the 2 grant options are on the Revelstoke Chamber of Commerce's YouTube page, which is a great resource space for members to access any previously recorded webinars or sessions.